Message to La Raza. La Raza. L-A space R-A-Z-A. That means the race. It doesn't mean like the race, like superior race. Just a general term used in reference to Chicanos, Mexicanos, Latin Americans, Hispanics, and even indigenous natives. For example, my bloodline. I consider myself a Chicano de Aztlán, and I started with a C because I'm old school. And I'm just throwing this out here to hopefully raise consciousness and stimulate discussion. My bloodline on my dad's side is a descendant of Geronimo. And I was raised with this knowledge, with this idea. And then also a Yaqui chief from Sonora, who was the chief of the only tribe that was not conquered by the Spaniards. A lot of our history has been lost. My paternal grandfather was Felizardo Lopez, or Felix Lopez. On my mother's side, both my grandparents worked with Pancho Villa in the Mexican Revolution. My grandfather was Raul Perez, or Rafael Perez, was a miner in Zacatecas. And my grandmother, Lupe Fernandez, was in the first Red Cross as a nurse. So she treated Villa's wounded men, and she met Villa and stuff, and she had a few interesting stories. So now I see the need for us to be unified as an endangered species on Earth. And ethnic / racial identities that have a collective resonance with people can help us unify. Right now, La Raza Cósmica is another term, because we're such a diverse people. You know, we could be from look like white people, green eyes, you know, to look like African. You look at Brazil, look at Cubans. So we're not really fixated on the skin color. Now, black people are more unified. They have that common racial identity, though we know that ultimately there's only one race, the race of human beings. Now, white people don't have to worry about these issues because they know they're white. There's no question about their whiteness. And maybe a question about their European origin. So, right now, La Raza, we're pretty much quiet. pretty much below the national level. And we have other issues besides immigration. Keep in mind that what is now called the U.S. Southwest was once Mexico. So, Chicanos say, in a way, we're like a lost tribe. Studies the 1848 Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Now, I maintain that the U.S. is the empire. It's not really an independent free nation. Americans are not free. Americans are not independent. The 4th of July propaganda is already coming up. So, we here in the USA are internal colony of the empire. And it has many external colonies, neo-colonies. So we need to keep things in the context of the reality that Chicanos themselves are not a true nation. A true nation would have territorial integrity, be able to protect its own borders, and thus the ideal of Chicano nation is unreal. And with the Chicano movement that has pretty much faded out, there was a whole concept of cultural nationalism where we related to our cultural roots, and we considered ourselves a nation. And in a way, cultural nationalism can be counter-revolutionary. And many Chicanos, if they still, anyone who considers themselves just Chicano, need to continue to evolve. At a root, Chicanos are like a lost tribe. And if we were to be numbered together, we would be the largest so-called native nation inside the USA. So fascism knows all this. Fascism knows how to label things, knows how to put people in the different boxes. We're dealing with scientific fascism here. So I want people who I consider to be Chicanos to have a Chicano self-identity, and not in terms of being Hispanic, which is which is a Nixon era invention, and not in terms of Latin American, because we're not really Latinos. If anything, we're indigenous, we're natives. And where would we go? See, we're here now in the USA, and the neo-fascist Trump wants to put up this wall between the U.S. and Mexico, and there's a lot of racism going on. And it's complex because, you see, we're not really separate races. R-A-C-E-S. The whole racial delineation was meant to divide people and utilized in order to divide and conquer. And so we see it has been used very successfully. There is no superior race. You know, we are all of one race of humane beings, B-E-I-N-G-S. And if we don't unify together, before long we can certainly become extinct. This is not like an Alex Jones, you know, freak out trip, but look at the world. Look at the wars. Look at the capacity for nuclear warfare, and understand that we could at any day suffer nuclear warfare. So your dreams and your plans for 20 years from now would be moot. Moot, M-O-O-T. So we want to keep our identity as Chicanos. Look at black people. Black people to me are the leaders in terms of revolution, in terms of resistance, in terms of the unification that we need to topple the empire. So we need to learn from black people, the leadership, and each other in general anyway. I think Malcolm X was the one that first woke me up more in terms of his autobiography, and then of course the Black Panther Party. His Minister of Defense, Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, and my favorite was George Lester Jackson. El General, George Lester Jackson. He wrote Prison Letters and wrote Blood in My Eye. So I learned a lot from black leadership. And in order to do that, I had to overcome my own racism. I was raised in Sacramento, California, which is, as far as I know, the most racially diverse city in the USA. So I was raised around poor people and poor white people, poor black people, and Chicanos. So I didn't have the cultural racism that many do. So I was blessed. Plus my parents, you know, did not condone any form of racism. So we need to understand that brown people and black people, they were united together along with progressive white people and progressive Asians. You have a strong impact on connected reality and what's happening in the world. So we need to not let ourselves get divided along racial, color, and tribal lines, but see our basic common humanity as humane beings. At the same time, we need to respect each other's ethnic identity. See that the variety of people, the variety amongst us is what makes us so interesting. If we can overcome the divisions due to racism in the USA, we can become one of the strongest, most beautiful people on Mother Earth. We need to look in the long distance. We need to have vision. Look way ahead. Look beyond this 2016 election, 2016 insanity. And whoever becomes president will not mean a true revolution. So we need to see that. We need to exhaust legal, peaceful methods of resistance, legal, peaceful methods of struggle, legal, peaceful methods of fighting back, in order to raise a collective mass revolutionary consciousness. Consciousness is the unified field. This is not brain science. This is strategic insight. You know, our general strategy is to topple the U.S. empire, a redistribution of the wealth, and the establishment of a valid democratic republic. Do not confuse strategy with tactics. Tactics are the means to an end strategy. So let us be able to study about each other, study our history, what has survived from our history. Let us integrate together. You know, in terms of colors, black, white, yellow, brown, and knowing that those labels are just that, they're labels, they're not really actualities. So we need to really love each other, help each other, and do what we can to uplift all of us. High tide raises all the boats, so that we can escape an early extinction and help bring about global revolution. As Che Guevara said, that after the revolution, the real struggle will be for the one for new humane relations among people, where we can gradually get rid of our divisions, gradually see our common survival interests in terms of food, housing, clothing, medical care, and quality education. So that's my spin for this Saturday, and I still got my little cheap Samsung tablet, which I appreciate. So I hope to save up enough to get a real camera. If anybody can donate one, my contact information is within the context of this video. So remember that we need to learn about each other. We really need to learn what love is. Not just sex, but what love is. And to love one another. To see the power of unity. I wish the whole world knew the power of unity and the power of harmony, so we can create a better world for us and for our descendants, for our children.